Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Guys, he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase with Picatinny rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15 like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more and see me shooting a flamethrower. And lastly, trying to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Going over to the business part of the podcast, you have the Stellantis CEO irate that, well, they keep calling themselves the old company internally. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Motor1.com, specifically Adrian, who's right over there. And when she says, quote, Stellantis boss tells employees to stop describing themselves as former FCA or PSA workers. He says, we are Stellantis, which, I don't know. I always thought Stellantis sounded like a really cool name for like a video game company or perhaps a firearm company. But it is seemingly just picked out of the blue for the new, big holding company for the automotive company of 17 brands that have been combined throughout the years. And here you can see the CEO of Stellantis with their funny looking logo, which also kind of looks like they, maybe it's a nice way of saying borrowed some inspiration from Samsung with flipping the V to be an N, Stellantis. I'm sure it sounds fancier if you're speaking over in Italia, where it's based. Now, they say, quote, after 4 tumultuous years of the helm of Stellantis, Carlos Tavares unexpectedly stepped down last December. Unexpectedly? No, profits and so revenue tanked by 48%, and I believe profits went down by like 43%. No one was surprised he stepped down, for the record. Now, they say that he stepped down in December despite having another year on his contract. The company took about 6 months to find a replacement, ultimately appointing Antonio Filizzaso last month to lead the automotive conglomerate that now has, 14 brands. He is born in Naples. The Italian executive is taking a dual role, retaining the position as a head of North America and American brands. Now, they say that he is now reviewing Stellantis' long-term Dare Forward 2030 strategy. I don't know. I just got flashbacks to the Dare program in elementary school, which might age me quite a bit. Back in the day, they had a lion wearing a T-shirt. It said Dare. And the whole thing was to inspire you not to do drugs or violence. I forgot the acronym. So the marketing wasn't that great, but I remember that funny little lion. But nevertheless, they had their Dare Forward 2030 strategy. Now, that strategy was to determine whether to make it, what type of adjustments were needed before any major decisions. He's asking employees to stop identifying themselves as former Fiat Chrysler automobiles or Peugeot Citroën staff, which, again, those are the two giant conglomerates that combined in 2021, which is kind of funny. They say, Fiat Chrysler, because, again, Fiat bought Chrysler North America many years ago during the 2009 automotive bankruptcies when also GM went bankrupt. Now, the issue with that is kind of funny that they call it Chrysler because, again, Chrysler, that company only has one car now. It's a crappy minivan. I would argue the best of the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, company, there's a strong brand in sales, it'd be Dodge. But nevertheless, and of course, ironically, Chrysler did buy Dodge from the Dodge brothers way back in the day. But yeah, they call themselves Fiat Chrysler America or FCA, and is Peugeot Citroën, which one would think you would combine those companies to like Fiat. I mean, I would argue kind of based on brand identity and sales, like Fiat Chrysler Citroën, or I don't know, I would combine it so it's more memorable than, again, Stellantis. Or Stellantis, if you want to sound fancy. Now, they say, as a reminder, FCA PSA merger was finalized in early 2021. Instead, the new CEO wants roughly 250,000 employees to embrace the unified identity. We are Stellantis, which, at least the CEO does look good in that suit. Well, granted, all men do look better suited up, of course, as we know. He says, that approach makes sense. After all, it's already been 4 years since the mega merger. With a new CEO and leadership team at the helm, Stellantis aims to move forward rather than remain anchored in the past. According to the Automobile News, PSA told employees that they are free to speak up and listen to, and he emphasized that he doesn't intend to be the CEO who lives in an ivory tower. The former Jeep boss also believes past mistakes can be corrected. Maybe bringing a good old Hemi V8 into the Dodge Charger instead of making it an EV. He says, quote, there's nothing wrong about Stellantis that cannot be fixed with what is right about Stellantis. The company has already dismissed persistent rumors about offloading a struggling Maserati luxury brand, signaling continued commitment to its many subsidiaries. I thought they were going to say customers of Maserati, all 18 of them, which talk about the number one depreciating POS, or what's a nice way of keeping this family friendly, piece of I'll just say a piece of shit car is a Maserati. It's kind of funny and sad to think they used to actually compete successfully against Ferrari throughout the decades, and now they're seen as a discount luxury automobile that again depreciates like a rock, and is probably less reliable than a Ford, which is saying something. Now they say that quote. Meanwhile, on the other side of the pond, Chrysler appears to have a future as well. Well, let's clarify that Chrysler North America, or Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, as well as Jeep. Because again, Chrysler, the only Chrysler automobile right now is the minivan Pacifica. Now they say, quote, speaking of Maserati, some of the employees may soon be working with more closely from Alfa Romeo. That CEO, Sant'Antonio Felici, the CEO of both Italian marques, recently hinted at deeper collaboration between the two. Staying in Italy, Lancia's relaunch has gone smoothly as hoped, while a Barth's shift away from combustion engines in favor of EVs could prove risky. Yeah, no shit. And a Barth, they used to have, the Fiat 500 of Barth. Some people make fun of it because, it's a small little car, not too dissimilar from the smart car in terms of some angles. Though it does look a little bit better, that bar's quite low. It was a great track toy. Had a stick shift option. I believe it was also a 4-banger turboed. It even had racing brakes in the fact. It was a great track toy. Which again, I think that's what the Barth brand is all about. They had the same thing where, they also had the Mazda Miata, which is, the Barth edition, or, a lot of parts sharing, so to say. Or is it, my memory eludes me today. Or was that the BMW color? No. Yeah, apologies. It's been a long day with very few hours of sleep in my tech company lately. But group problems they have, we're growing. But yeah, it's one of those things where the Barth is all about performance and making that an EV, where again, most tracks won't let you even use it. That's so stupid. Now they say, quote, all things considered, Fiosa has a full plate as he manages a sprawling portfolio of brands, some of which are in urgent need of revitalization. Where Stellantis can mirror the success of Volkswagen Group remains uncertain. The challenges today are far more complex than during the era that helped Volkswagen become the global powerhouse. Rising competition from China, stricter regulations, and escalated production cost are just a few of the hurdles against the legacy automakers that they are now being forced to face. Which, those regulations aren't, they're actually kneecapping pretty much every company except the Chinese in terms of bullying these companies to make EVs, which are the least profitable thing on the planet for most companies, which is why Tesla's so famous and successful. That's why Elon's a genius, in my opinion. He found a way to make a profit on an EV. Granted, there's issue with the government subsidies, so you could argue, how profitable are they at the end of the day. But again, he made a profit with the same rule book that every other company had at the time. So it's very impressive they did that. I'm very skeptical to see if any of these other companies will compete. With Stellantis, they need to get the Hemi back, and they are with the Ram 1500. Now that's an option again. So I think that will dramatically increase sales. And again, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers are some of those profitable vehicles in the automobile industry. Hence why so many companies make them. But again, they still have 14 brands under their portfolio. Alfa Romeo, they're really hot for a little while in the United States. Great sales spike when they brought the brand back to the United States. But it's kind of fizzling out. You see them every once in a while. Again, this is me anecdotally speaking about, Texas. But yeah, in terms of fixing the most important parts of the company, I'd be, fixing Dodge as they try to go EV, and that's failing spectacularly. But let me know, do you think they'll be able to successfully turn the company around? I'm a little pessimistic, but let me know your thoughts because I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.